This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium quality travel gear, like the Taskin Air Duo dual-sided compression packing cubes. One side's 100% air breathable to keep clean clothes fresh and wrinkle-free. The other side's odor and water resistant to keep dirty laundry sealed up tight. Now you can pack up to 40% more in the same space. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at TaskinSF.com.
Don't look now, Breezy, because you're just in time for the 2026 Super Bowl Advertising Pop Quiz, where we test your ad recall from Super Bowl 60. And it all starts right here, right now, on the one show where nobody shanks the field goal, Rick, and everybody rules the world.
That's right. Super Bowl 60 is in the history books. So do you think you remember the commercials? That's adorable, because we're about to put your memory to the test. In this episode, we play a Super Bowl-sized edition of a Rick and Rick Loaded Questions, our multiple-choice quiz game that, a mere 10 days later, will test just how well you recall some of, or maybe any of, the commercials from this year's Super Bowl. And as we pick things up, the Ricks are gearing up for the big game. Enjoy. Welcome to the Super Bowl 2026 edition of the Rick and Rick Marketing Podcast. I'm Rick Matheson, and I am joined, as always, by my good pal, Rick Wooten. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, Rick.
Oh, happy Super Bowl, my friend.
And this is always one of my favorite episodes here. And we got to tell you, this year's Super Bowl is bittersweet for us here in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's exciting to have the Super Bowl here, but we just wish our team was in it. Now, Rick, are you rooting for a team this time?
No, I'm not necessarily the best football fan. And in fact, my friends were making fun of me the other day because I was talking about the teams that were, in the Super Bowl, and I called them the Seattle Eagles. Yeah, there's a bird. Come on, don't judge me.
Right. That's awesome.
I guess I have to root for one of them. I guess I would go with the New England Patriots, but it's a flip of a coin. I really don't have a dog in this race.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one for me. I mean, the Seattle area, it's kind of a second home to me. I'm up there quite often, but at the same time, they clobbered my team. So
That's right.
I simultaneously want them to win and be pulverized.
That's right.
130 million people or more will be tuning into Super Bowl LX. That's up from last year's 128 million viewers, which was the most watched televised event in U.S. history. Yeah. Now, hitting that upper level would be a very good thing for brands advertising in this year's game because, according to Bloomberg, Rick, they're paying as much as $10 million for 30 seconds of airtime.
Wow.
So last show we were talking about, we thought it was in the 7 or 8 range. No, it's as high as $10 million, which is nearly twice the cost of that time in 2020.
Yeah.
So $10 million per 30 seconds of airtime this year, and some are running multiple.
Yeah.
I'm probably mathing wrong here, but at 130 million viewers, that's $13 for each pair of potential eyeballs, but it's still probably a pretty good deal when you think about it that way.
That's right.
40% of the brands in this year's ad bowl were not sponsors last year, so a lot of first-timers.
I will agree. The other one I thought was interesting is a few brands that I thought were going to be one and done are back again. Instacart is an example of that, where they did the stuff in the last year or two, and I was like, okay, well, they're probably done with it, and then they're back in force this time around.
Yeah. So as is our annual tradition, this is a Super Bowl-sized edition of Rick and Rick's Loaded Questions, which is our multiple-choice pop quiz, where this time out we're going to be testing your 2026 Super Bowl ad recall. We'll be talking Pringles, Killer Alexa, Michelob Ultra, Dunkin' Donuts, Instacart, and even that creepy hairball from Manscaped. Plus a whole lot more to test your memories that may or may not be about to betray you. But fair warning, you'll have to go to last episode's Super Bowl advertising preview to hear my attempt to sing Sweet Sandwich Time from the helmet spot. Which is pretty scary. So Rick Wooten, are you ready for Rick-Off?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Go for it.
So for my first question, which Super Bowl ad featured William Shatner beaming down like a sci-fi hero to talk to America about fiber? Was it A, Kellogg's Raisin Bran turning gut health into Star Trek subplot? Was it NASA launching a breakfast program for astronauts? Or C, a surprise Star Trek reboot that nobody asked for? Or D, WebMD finally buying a Super Bowl ad?
You know, after B, I was wishing it was a Tang commercial, but no, in this instance, I forget what letter it was, but it was Raisin Bran.
That's right. It's Kellogg's Raisin Bran featuring William Shatner. And this was an incredible one because it takes a completely unsexy product, fiber, and then wraps it in peak nerd nostalgia. William Shatner shows up as this brand ambassador, literally beaming into sports bars and tailgates like he's on a Starfleet mission. Except the mission is digestive hell. Anyways, it's kind of this weird, unapologetic video, and it somehow it kind of works. And I appreciate that. William Shatner is okay with being called Will Shat.
Yes. I mean, serious Starfleet salute to him for doing this. I think we talked about this on text. This spot reminded us of, how once upon a time anyway, Kmart said you could ship your pants.
That's right.
This time it is all a play on Will Shat. In fact, this spot has Will Shat as William Shatner and a pet Shih Tzu.
That's right.
In this Super Bowl spot, which is Raisin Bran's very first Super Bowl spot. I think it's called Will Shat here. Captain Kirk himself appears as you mentioned, the brand's brand ambassador to bring fiber to the masses by beaming into low fiber hotspots. People shout things like, Will Shat on a car. Or one woman shouts, Will Shat here? To which he responds, every single day. Now, it is an odd USP, as Raisin Bran has about 7 grams of fiber, but all bran has up to 20 grams. Fiber One has like 18. And I looked this up, Rick, you can get 22 grams in a cereal called Poop Like a Champion, which is a real breakfast cereal available through Amazon and I guess Instacart. So, it wasn't selling the 2 scoops of raisins, it was selling bran.
That's hilarious.
Okay, next question. In a Super Bowl spot for Michelob Ultra, Kurt Russell gives skiing lessons to, quote, Greg, who is portrayed by an actor best known for playing A, the character named Bob in Top Gun Maverick, B, the character named Bob in Marvel's Thunderbolts, C, the character known as Starburst in Spaceballs 2, or D, Bad Bunny's sidekick Baby Cakes. In a Super Bowl spot for Michelob Ultra, Kurt Russell gives skiing lessons to Greg, who is portrayed by an actor best known for playing what?
I'm not sure on this one, but I think it was Bob from Thunderbolts. Was that the right one?
You are correct, because the answer is A, B, C, and I really don't know about D. So in a spot from Whedon and Kennedy, New York for Michelob Ultra, Louis Pullman plays Greg, the last guy down the slope who always ends up having to pay for his posse's Michelob Ultras. That is, until Kurt Russell appears. In the spot, he plays sort of a love child of Mr. Miyagi and Susie Chapstick. He proceeds to teach Greg how to ski like a boss with maxims like, if you rely on your eyes to see, you are already blind. By the end of the spot, Kurt Chapstick is buying Greg and the gang around.
That's awesome.
Now, interesting fact here, Rick. So I, had Bad Bunny in the answer there. Guess how much he got paid to perform during the halftime show?
Oh, man. $5 million. That's my guess.
You would think that's about where I would put it, but no. If you're wondering how much Bad Bunny got paid to perform at the halftime, apparently performers only get union scale, which is about $1,000 per day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, the NFL picks up expenses, and those can be in the millions, getting, the setups there and that kind of thing. But again, with 130 million viewers, it's worth it for Bad Bunny. In fact, I really didn't know anything about him. He's gone from being a SoundCloud rapper about a decade ago into a 6-time Grammy winner with ticket sales that are now reaching nearly Taylor Swift levels.
Yeah.
He is Spotify's most streamed artist worldwide. He won the Album of the Year at the 2026 Grammy Awards, and he's just on a total roll. So that's kind of cool. Good for him. Hit me with your next question.
For my next question, which brand had an ad where someone asks, are you crying? And in response, they get, no, the sun is in my eyes. Was that A, Vaseline, B, Budweiser, C, Avocados from Mexico, or D, every dad in every movie ever?
Probably D, but I'm going to guess B on that one.
Oh, you were right. You were right. Yeah, this is like peak Budweiser emotional engineering. This was, a great commercial where, it starts out with a baby horse and a baby bird meeting in the field, and the the horse kind of raises the bird. And then at the end, you see the horse grows into a Clydesdale and comes running through a field and jumping over a log. And the bird on its back is actually an eagle. And they've made this friendship. And, so it's like peak Americana. And you have two guys at the end that are talking to each other. And the one kind of looking into the field and watching the animals. It looks like he might be crying. And his friend asked the question, "Are you crying?" And he says, "No, the sun's just in my eyes." So it's like very, very typical Budweiser commercial. And I love it, by the way.
Yeah, I did see that spot. And the spot is celebrating the 150th birthday of Anheuser-Busch and the 250th birthday of the United States. So it was a nice spot from BBD&O New York and Anheuser-Busch's internal agency Draftline.
Yeah.
All right, next question. In a spot we discussed last episode in our Super Bowl ad preview, pop star Sabrina Carpenter builds her perfect man out of A, Oscar Mayer wieners, B, peanut M&Ms, C, Doritos nacho cheese tortilla tips, D, avocados from Mexico, or E, none of the above, or at least not on camera. In this year's Super Bowl spot, pop star Sabrina Carpenter builds her perfect man out of what?
I saw this commercial and it was Pringles.
You are correct. As Adweek reports, 30-second spot called Love at First Bite from BBDO New York finds Sabrina Carpenter building her perfect man out of Pringles snack chips and proceeding to go out on long drives and romantic dinner dates despite his fragile nature before he's tackled and devoured by fans in front of Carpenter's very own eyes. First is horrified, but eventually relents and joins the feeding frenzy. The spot aired during the third quarter of the game, and it's called Pringle Leo. Now, I saw this online. There's a video, and I think it was from one of the reporters at Adweek. They showcased how it took months for SCPS Unlimited fabricators and puppeteers to build and animate Pringle Leo out of actual Pringles potato chips. That's not CGI or fake snack chips there. So it was
really,
yeah, it was actually Pringles potato chips. So quite a production.
Wow. I'm disappointed in them because I really thought it was just AI. And so all that work and it came across as AI.
Agreed. And I still miss, we talked about this last episode, but I still miss the Stackables commercials where it was, do your impression. I always love it when you do.
It's the chicken. It's the barbecue. No, it's the chicken barbecue pizza.
Hit me.
Next question. Which brand made headlines for airing a Super Bowl ad that leaned heavily on AI and very much wanted all of us to know it? Was it A, BMW saying AI powered and refusing to elaborate on what it was? Was it B, Svedka using AI like a badge of honor? Was it C, Bud Light insisting the algorithm misunderstood the football culture? Or was it D, Meta teaching a chatbot sarcasm 10 minutes before kickoff?
I don't know. The only one I remember was Svedka.
That is correct.
Okay.
What made this one pop was that they didn't quite use AI like everybody else. They actually decided to make a statement about it and put out, a bunch of press around, yes, we used AI. We did everything with AI. And it was just an interesting approach to it, to grab the megaphone and try and announce to everybody that, AI was used in this. The ad itself was only okay. I wasn't that impressed with it.
All right, next question. In one spot this year, wedding guests Peyton Manning, Shane Gillis, and Post Malone attend a hilltop wedding, ended up propelling themselves down a dusty hillside in pursuit of A, their last shred of dignity, B, Ben Stiller, C, Pringles, or D, Bud Light. Wedding guests Peyton Manning, Shane Gillis, and Post Malone attend a hilltop wedding and end up propelling themselves down a dusty hillside in pursuit of what?
I would argue it's both A and D, but I'm going to go with Bud Light.
You are correct, probably on both counts. So answer is D and maybe A. In a spot from Anomaly, New York, Peyton Manning, Shane Gillis, and Post Malone throw themselves down a dusty hillside in pursuit of a keg of Bud Light. Did you see the spot? I actually laughed out loud.
Yeah, I did. I also was humored by this. I enjoyed it. I thought the whole setup was hilarious, but I don't understand why they used the celebrities they did. Great commercial, really humorous, made me chuckle. But then afterwards, I was like, well, why was Post Malone in this? Why all the famous people they had in this? What did they add to that just a regular person wouldn't have done? So this one left me scratching my head a little bit.
I always love Peyton Manning and stuff. So I think even if they'd just had Peyton Manning, I think it would have pulled off the same exact thing.
Totally.
But very entertaining spot.
All right, for my next question. Which brand leaned hardest into nostalgia in its Super Bowl ad, clearly betting you wouldn't feel something before remembering how old you are? Was it A, Verizon, reminding you that it once sponsored something that you loved? Was it B, Xfinity doing emotional damage control? Was it C, AT&T bringing back a celebrity from your formative years? Or was it D, your knees reminding you that it's been a long game?
The only reason I'm not saying AT&T is I don't remember an AT&T spot, so I'm going to say Xfinity.
You were correct. This ad wasn't about internet speeds or pricing. It was about reminding you the things that used to be, and hoping for that warm, fuzzy feeling transferred over to your nostalgia. It was an interesting ad.
Cool. I'm not sure I saw that one. Speaking of Xfinity, Xfinity visits the Wayback Machine in a Super Bowl spot featuring a much more favorable ending to A, the 2024 presidential elections, B, the T-Rex scene in 1993's Jurassic Park, C, the T-1000 scene in 1991's Terminator 2, or D, the Mr. T scene in 1982's Rocky III. Xfinity visits the Wayback Machine in a Super Bowl spot featuring a much more favorable ending to what?
It is Jurassic Park.
You are correct. Now, my understanding is that this is Xfinity's first ever national Super Bowl campaign, and it is in this instance in the form of a 60-second spot that reunites Jurassic Park stars Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum, and some scary bad CGI that rivals Seal's unfortunate transformation in last year's Super Bowl ad for Mountain Dew Baja Blast. The spot, directed by Taika Waititi for San Francisco-based Goodby Silverstein and Partners, reimagines the T-Rex scene in a what-if scenario in which Xfinity Wi-Fi prevents the park's electrical system from failing, which in turn results in Jurassic Park succeeding as a safe, fun-loving tourist attraction. Xfinity Wi-Fi finds a way.
Yeah, this was a funny commercial. So number one, I had the same reaction as you did with the de-aging that they did on people. And it actually made me wonder if it was not only just bad special effects or if they used AI on it.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't look legit to me.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, like, are they really claiming that good Wi-Fi would have saved the island and that the dinosaurs would have lived harmoniously with people? Like, is that really what their claim is?
It seems to be their claim, because I couldn't figure out if it was supposed to somehow turn on the electrical system via Wi-Fi or not. I really didn't quite understand the connection to Xfinity there.
Yeah, it was a stretch, but that said, I still enjoyed the commercial. I thought it was fun.
All right, next question. The Cola Wars heat up, or maybe get icy, in a spot featuring a polar bear participating in a blind taste test in which he chooses A, Pepsi Zero Sugar, B, Poppy, C, Coca-Cola, D, 7-Up, and Cola. No caffeine, Nevada. Never will. Or E, sun-kissed limited-time Assberry and Shoelaces flavored soda. The Cola Wars heat up, or maybe get icy, in a spot featuring a polar bear participating in a blind taste test in which he chooses what?
This was in this was in my top 5 favorite ads. So this was Pepsi Zero. I thought this was pretty clever.
You are correct. So in a spot called The Choice from BBDO, PepsiCo Content Studio, and, yes, director Taika Waititi, a CGI polar bear, like the kind so often seen in Coca-Cola commercials, takes a blind taste test and chooses Pepsi Zero Sugar. And the existential crisis that results in sends him to his therapist, played by, yes, Taika Waititi. It's a good spot.
That's awesome.
Actually, you know what? This probably ranks among my favorite only because it was so simple and instantly you got it right from the start.
Absolutely.
Simplest message of them all.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium quality travel gear, like the Taskin Air Duo dual-sided compression packing cubes. One side's 100% air breathable to keep clean clothes fresh and wrinkle-free. The other side's odor and water resistant to keep dirty laundry sealed up tight. Now you can pack up to 40% more in the same space. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at taskinsf.com.
And welcome back to Rick and Rick Rule the World with Rick Matheson and Rick Wooten as we turn our attention to some of the weirder moments and major themes from this year's Super Bowl. What do you think the weirdest spot was?
The Instacart one with Ben Stiller trying to do the flips and falling off the stage. I think that one, just because it was so tragically bad.
Yeah, I don't ever want to see that one again, actually.
No.
So the one that just creeped me out was that Manscaped one with the little balls of hair that people have shaved off. There were little bits of hair, each taking a part in a song, and the lines were things like, "Once I danced upon your chest, covered your pecs, I did my best. I was your scruff, your loyal friend, sworn to protect your dimpled chin, but you stabbed me in the back when you sliced me from that patch above your crack." It is hard to watch. Pretty funny. The tagline is, "Man carrier everywhere." So, people will be talking about that spot. Other trends were, Taika Waititi, for fuck's sake. So he directed half the spots and starred in one of them. He directed Xfinity. He directed and appears in the Pepsi Zero Sugar spot, and he directed 2 spots for Homes.com for CoStar Group. So he won this year's Super Bowl.
Yeah. I have to say, this was another trend that I saw this year was the AI companies coming out in force, right? Because you had OpenAI with an ad, you had Anthropic with an ad, and you had other folks that were kind of, tangentially in the space talking about ads as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I guess it's such as the time we live in.
Well, and we went through that, whatever it was 20 years ago when all the Super Bowl ads were, .com startups.
Dear Lord, Rick, don't say that. 1999, they were all over the Super Bowl, and then by the next year, we had the .com collapse. So, we'll be in for the AI apocalypse here in the year ahead. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, we touched on just a fraction of the Super Bowl ads. So let us know what we got right or what we got wrong and what your favorite spots were. You can always reach us. Our email address is rick@rickandrick.com. Until next time, keep on kicking ass and keep on coming back to the one show where everybody's name is Rick.
And everybody rules the world.